There we go, we're live. If you've ever done a Google Hangout on air before, you know to look out for the little yellow live button saying, I'm here, I'm broadcasting. Welcome to the 4 quick fixes to make your website a lean, mean conversion machine. And I just wanted to take a moment to give a huge shout out and thank you to Bill Barron. I've met Bill Barron about 4 or 5 years ago when I was just beginning in this space, and he's just an awesome leader. And I really appreciate him sharing me with you today. And I just want to say hi to everyone here. And if this is the very first time you're meeting me, I'm just really excited to get to know you. And I see so many people already in the chat. We've got Mary and Bill and Susie from the UK. We've got Empress from Toronto, Erica from Florida, Debbie from Berkeley, Wadaf from Germany, Paula from England. We've got Cliff, we've got Tiana, we've got Thomas, we've got Jillian, we've got just lots and lots of people streaming in, more than I can count. And it looks like you found the live chat, which is awesome because I invite you to really dialogue and participate through this entire session. So I can see your feedback, I can see your questions, I can make sure that we address what's going to really support you in getting your website live. So I'm thrilled to see you here. I'm excited for what we've got over the next hour. And before we got started, I kind of wanted to answer a question that you may be asking yourself right now, and that probably is, Marisa, what exactly is conversion anyway? And why are you dedicating an entire webinar to conversion? I know it sounds like kind of this weird, geeky word, and I may have been accused before in the past of being a geek, but it's not about the technology. It's really about how you move people to action so they can really transform their lives for the better. And that includes engaging with you and investing in you. So let me quickly introduce myself and answer the question to set the stage for what we're really going to be doing together over the next hour. So my name is Marisa Murgatroyd, and I'm the founder of Live Your Message and Superhero Summits. My sweet spot is helping online entrepreneurs really translate their life's work into an authentic brand and website that instantly attracts their ideal clients from the very moment they land on your site or enter your world. And I got to tell you that can take some finesse in a world where there are 933 million active websites online. And they're all competing for your audience's time and attention. And at the same time, the average human attention span has dropped to just 8 seconds. And believe it or not, that's actually 1 second less than the attention span of a goldfish. So we're now talking to people who've got less attention than a goldfish, but that doesn't mean you can't reach out through the screen and really touch the hearts and minds of your audience. You just need to know what to do, and that's what this webinar is all about. It's what to do, because every day I'm on the ground with my students and on my clients, and I'm really listening to their ideas, and I'm looking at their sites, and I'm finding the biggest problems that are keeping them stuck, and identifying how to help them get their message out, to reach more people and transform more lives with what they do on a huge scale. So we try to keep on the leading edge with what's working online, and we're building about 75 to 100 websites every single year through our web agency Take Flight Now. So you better believe that we know what's working right now. And the thing that I'm most proud of at this moment is the work we just did for Justin Livingston and Kellen Rush. So they came to us for help rebuilding all of their websites and all of their pages. And I just got a thank you note from Justin yesterday letting me know that the sales page we designed for him brought in over $4 million in sales in a 3-week period just last month. So now that's the power of really understanding online conversion and how to move your audience to action, really inspiring them by the hundreds and even the thousands to start taking action with you so you can have the impact that you imagine. So today, I want to bring you the 4 biggest lessons that I've learned over the past 12 months that have really made it possible to do this. And I've created this presentation to walk you through them in detail. And you're going to see how it's not only possible to grow your business, but to really grow it exponentially without increasing your current traffic levels. The reason why conversion is so powerful is you don't have to add more people to your business. You don't have to increase your traffic or the number of people who are coming to your site to get better results. So before I get into these tweaks, we need to talk about the biggest problem that could be holding you back that you might not even know that you've got. And if you've got this problem, it could be blocking you from building a website that can really grow your business in the way that you dream. So whatever that dream is for you, whether it's big impact or big money or just taking time off to spend with your family and sitting on a beach somewhere, I know I've been hearing from a lot of entrepreneurs today that they really want to slow down and they want to enjoy life as well as business. So whatever that goal is for you, the one thing that I really see holding people back is that they spend time and effort and money on stuff that doesn't matter in their business yet. So I'm talking about things like SEO and social media, buying traffic, ebooks, list building, membership sites, e-commerce, CRM systems, technology, shopping carts, email and autoresponder systems, webinars, you name it. And it's not like these things aren't important. They are important. They're really important, but at the right time. Because until you've got a rock solid website that's working reliably to convert visitors into leads and into sales, then you're working way too hard and no amount of marketing or traffic generation can really give you the results that you're looking for, because it's like you're sending people into this leaky bucket. So even if you send more people, you still got a leak and they're not turning into your customers and your fans and your subscribers. So it's like you send people to your site and nothing happens. So sending more people to your site, nothing happens still. So it's like all these other marketing activities actually become distractions that are keeping you from focusing on the biggest bang for your buck activity in your business today. And that really is improving your website conversion. So let me back up a second and explain what I mean by conversion and why it's so important. It's not just this big idea. It's the one thing that allows you to get much, much better results from all the other marketing activities that you're doing. So conversion is what happens when a visitor to your website takes some kind of action. So let me repeat that. Conversion is what happens when a visitor to your website takes some kind of action. Now that can be signing up for your list, that can be emailing you, it can be filling out your contact form or requesting a free enrollment session with you like what Bill Barron teaches you how to do, or even buying one of your products or services. So without enough of these conversion activities, your business is not going to survive. And that's a simple fact. Without conversion, you can't make money. But the big dirty secret of the online world is that most websites kind of suck at converting traffic into action. So we've been trained to believe that only squeeze pages or landing pages can do the work of really converting your traffic into new business and new sales. So not only is this wrong, but this belief could actually cost you a lot of lost customers and lost impact and years of wasted time. Because the fact is that every single page on your website, from your homepage to your blog page to your about page, can really be set up to convert your traffic and your visitors into leads and subscribers and customers at a much higher rate than it is right now. And these simple increases in conversion can result in exponential growth for your business. So let me actually draw a picture of what that means to you so you can really get what I'm talking about here. So on average, most websites convert less than 1% of traffic into some kind of meaningful action. So let's say that you have 1,000 unique visitors to your website last month, okay? And I'm talking about all your overall traffic, not just traffic to your homepage, but to your blogs and your product and service pages, your about page, your contact page, really all of your traffic. Because people can really land anywhere on your site and start their journey with you from any page of your site. So out of 1,000 visits, most people would struggle to get a 1% conversion rate. That means that out of 1,000 unique visitors, just 10 of them would take an action on your site, such as joining your list, calling, emailing, liking your content, or buying. Just 10. Now that's pretty bad, right? And it's actually kind of generous because what I've learned from working with thousands of online business owners who haven't learned what I'm going to teach you is that most people's conversion is far worse. So a lot of people come to us with sites that are converting at just 1/10 of 1%. Because they haven't implemented the 4 tweaks that I'll be covering in this training today. And here's the thing, when you've got most people bouncing off your site without taking any kind of action, without visiting another page, without doing anything, then it starts to explain why you might be waiting sometimes weeks for just a single person to opt into your website or sign up for a discovery session or reach out. And I know that that can start to feel discouraging. Like you've got this big vision for your business, and it's kind of heartbreaking to put your stuff out there into the world to help other people and really not see the response and the interest. And that's why Bill asked me to share this presentation with you. He really wanted to help you understand how you can move people to action, not just in one-on-one enrollment conversations like he teaches you, but online, so you can go from one-to-one to reaching one-to-many and have a massive impact on the lives of the people that you want to serve. So let me show you what it could mean if your website suddenly started to convert at a much higher rate. So with just one of the fixes that I'm about to give you, my clients routinely double their conversion site-wide, going from less than 1% to 2%. And these aren't just faceless numbers. A lot of times you can look at website statistics and just think it's, a crowd of people. But we're actually talking about doubling the amount of people who are raising their hand and asking for more information from you. And each one of these has a face, each one of these people has a name, each one of these has a heart that beats and problems that they need your help solving. So whether they're asking to join your mailing list or they're sampling your content or jumping on the phone with you, they're raising their hand and saying, I'm interested in what it is that you've got to share. And when you put in place 2 or more of these fixes that I'm going to show you, then I've seen their sites really start to do well because these changes kind of compound on themselves, sometimes raising them to 3% or 4% conversion. And sometimes someone gets really keen and really excited, and they add in all 4 of the fixes that I want to reveal to you in this training. And once they've done that, we often average out to about 5% increase in conversion on most pages of their site, because these fixes really work together to amplify your results. So let me show you a very simple example to bring this home for you, and then we're going to begin. So let's say that one way you help people and make money is by offering coaching packages through an initial discovery call. So assuming that you enroll about half of the people that you talk to, doubling the amount of discovery calls that you get through your website can actually double your income. So that's how conversion works. When you double the amount of people taking action, you're actually doubling your results, your incomes, your sales. So that would be a very quick, very easy outcome for you to achieve if you implement what's in this training. I'm just setting this up because I don't want you to just listen. I want you to take action on what I'm training here today, so it really makes a difference in your business. And here's the very best thing about focusing on conversion. So you can double even 5 to 10 extra results using the existing traffic to your website. So in other words, without doing any additional marketing activities, without spending any more time on Facebook, you can get 2 to 10 times the number of visitors really taking the kind of actions that are going to build your business. So I know that your plate is already piled high with things to do, and I want to make your life easier today. So I could go on, but I think that you get by now the power of improving your site conversion from this very simple example that I'm showing you here on the screen. And now I hope you can see why I'm so excited about teaching today's session and teaching you some material that could actually move the needle in a huge way for your business this year. So let me know in the chat box if you think you're in the right place at the right time with me today. And while I wait for your answers to come in, I wanted to share with you that the reason why I'm here today is that I get sad when I see so many people spinning and obsessing over the little stuff that we talked about earlier, when they don't realize how many people they're losing right off the bat. They're missing this golden opportunity to help so many more people with their knowledge and life experience, and they don't even realize it. So it's my hope today to show you how you can quickly improve the results you're getting on your website so everything else that you're doing becomes a lot more effective. All right? So let's get started with the good stuff. And I'm just seeing the notes coming in. People thanking me and saying it's perfectly timed. Marisa, thank you for your flow. And I see John from Orange County, a lot of other people coming in and saying hi. So thank you. And Sarah's saying, I love Marisa and her amazing talents. So thank you. Really, really appreciate it. It looks like we're all here in the right spot. So in this webinar, what I want to do is I want to show you how to stop people from leaving your site almost as soon as they've landed. So you really have the opportunity to engage them in greater numbers. So in tech speak, that means that I'm going to show you how to cut your bounce rate and increase your page conversion. So I wish I had enough time today to talk about every single page on your website, because there are specific tips and strategies for increasing conversion on each type of page, but we'd be here for hours. So what I want to do now is focus here on the one page that gets 3 to 10 times more views than any other page on your site. And I'm talking about, if you haven't guessed it yet, your home page. So optimizing here is going to give you the most bang for your buck, and you'll be able to take what we learn here and apply it to all the other pages on your site. Oh, and I see a lot of other amazing comments coming through. People telling me they love me. I like that. And that they're completely in the right place and that they need this. So thank you, Marie and Tracy and Gina and Kate and Lisa and Wadaf and everybody else who shared your thoughts there. So let's get started with the top of your homepage. One of the easiest ways to cut your bounce rate by 10 to 20% and at least double the conversion rate of your homepage is by optimizing the top 600 pixels of your website that every visitor is guaranteed to see. This is called your above the fold real estate, and it's what people see without having to scroll down. So that's why they call it the above the fold real estate. It was back in the newspaper days where you would just see kind of what's on the newspaper before it reaches the fold and have to flip it over. So in this area, I highly recommend you create what I call a call to action banner that actually supports your business model. So your call to action banner asks your visitor to do something, such as opt in for a free gift or schedule a free discovery call that kicks off what I call their customer journey with you. So the biggest reason why people don't make money from their websites is that they haven't clearly matched their site to their business model or how they make money and how they help people. So it sounds super simple, but you'd be surprised at how few sites include a clear and specific call to action at the top of their site in the way that I'm about to show you. So here's one of those on the screen right now. So as you can see, there's not a clear next step or any call to action to take anything specific at all. So they're literally making their visitor guess what their next action should be. And when you make people guess, they get confused. So if you actually think back to the last time that you were confused about what a website wanted you to do, like what happened next? What did you do? Did you spend an extra 5 minutes trying to figure it out, trying to decide where to go next? Or did you hit the back button and try another site? You know, you hit the back button, right? And we all kind of assume that because it's our website and because our message is so important, that people are just going to give us extra time to figure it out, but they're not. So when you add in a very clear and specific call to action that makes sense for the kind of business that you have, like the one that you see in this slide here now on the screen, then you're on track to double or better your homepage conversion. So when Michelle switched her homepage opt-in to get a free business success kit, her opt-in rate increased pretty much instantly 71%. This was an instant 71% improvement. And I'm willing to bet that this homepage converts at least 10 times better than anything that she had before, for the simple reason that she actually has an action to take, and it makes sense to take it, and it really ties into all the work that she does for people. It really is a natural progression for what she wants people to do next in her business. Now, 10 times may sound like a lot to you, but after years of experience, I've seen how powerful the right call to action can be on a homepage, especially when you go from having no call to action or the wrong call to action to really having the right call to action. So what exactly is the right homepage call to action for your business? And it might not be obvious to you because it really depends on your business model or how you make money in your business. So our first kind of call to action is what I call the call me call to action. And if you're a new business owner or you're a solopreneur, it's the easiest place to start and the fastest way to grow your business to 6 figures. So the call me call to action is for coaches, consultants, creatives, healers, independent professionals, or service providers who make most or all of their income from one-on-one advice and services. And the reason why I named this Call Me is because most coaches, consultants, and service providers turn new leads and prospects into customers by getting on the phone with them for some kind of free consultation, discovery session, or enrollment conversation. So let me check in with you for a moment and just ask, who here makes their money and has a business that's based on getting on the phone with people to get into conversation with them, and from there enroll them into your offers and services. So let me know in the chat. And I know that Bill is masterful at teaching you the enrollment process. So we probably have quite a few Call Me business owners on the line today. Now, as I wait for your answers to come in, the trick about Google Hangouts is I'm actually about 30 to 60 seconds in the future. So I've got to wait for a moment to have your answers come in. So as a Call Me business owner, how do you get more clients and make more money? Can anyone guess? Well, if you want to get more clients and you want to make more money, then your number one job as a Call Me business owner is to have as many enrollment conversations as possible, otherwise known as getting on the phone with potential customers. So it makes sense that your call to action should be designed to inspire your visitors to schedule a free consultation, right? So I'm going to show you exactly how to do that in just a moment, but first I want to cover our next two call to actions. So I'm looking over here at the chat to see who's got a Call Me business. And I see we've got, oh wow, it's moving so fast. We've got Melissa, who's a doula. We've got Susie, we've got Ronald, we've got John, we've got Chantel, we've got Lynn, who does some Call Me and some other stuff. We've got Debbie, who's a hypnotist. We've got Woodoff. We've got Rindy, who's got a Call Me, and Diane, who's a life coach, and Paula, who loves to talk to her customers, Thomas, and Tom, and Sherry, and Lisa, and Andrea, and Marie, and Catherine, though she's starting to move into doing events. So the next two call to actions are going to be really good for you too. And Bill, and Sue, who's just moving to the Call Me model now. And there's more people than I can possibly name here. So a lot of you. So the next kind of call to action is what I call the list build call to action. And this is a really great model for scaling your business to multiple 6 or 7 figures and leveraging your time. So almost everybody teaches the list build model when it comes to websites. But what most people don't tell you is that a list build call to action is not for everybody. And it's not always the best place to start because it requires a little bit more expertise, systems, support, and traffic to get right. So I've seen a lot of people jump straight into a list build call to action from scratch, then struggle to get customers when they could have started making money faster with the Call Me call to action by really focusing all of their visitors on signing up for a free consultation with them. So that said, the list build call to action is often the next logical step for consultants and service providers who've had some success in a Call Me model and maxed out their earning potential doing one-on-one work. So list build is for you if you make most or all of your income selling trainings, information products, group coaching programs, software, or physical products that have a high potential for subscription or repeat business. So the way you do that is by building an email list that allows you to market to people who've already expressed interest in your topic. So who here makes most of their income from their mailing list? So while I wait for your answers to come in, let me just tell you your number one job if you've got a list build business is to really build and nurture your email list as quickly as possible so you can create the kind of relationships that turn visitors into customers, repeat customers, and raving fans. And that means that your call to action should be specifically designed to convert a visitor into a subscriber. And I'm going to show you how to do that in just a second. But before I do that, I want to share our third and last call to action. And I see here, Juanita does workshops and consulting based on those workshops. We've got Catherine, who's a body worker, switching to events, into organizing events. So that's definitely list build. Debbie trains and certifies. And I think the answers are still coming in. So let me talk for a moment about the authority business. And the authority call to action is really the path to having a massive global impact and really becoming a recognized authority in your field and building a business platform that's going to continue to grow over the long term. So this model requires a big team, a big budget, and a lot of expertise to get right. And an authority call to action is for you if you're an author, speaker, media personality, or thought leader who makes your income from several scalable revenue streams, including selling books, hosting events, getting paid to speak, and high ticket sales. So because you're making your income in a few different ways, this model also requires more high-profile marketing and a few different channels to sustain it. And this is a stage where you really start to give the impression that you're everywhere. You've got a blog and a newsletter, you're doing webinars and launches and Facebook advertising, and perhaps you also publish a book and you start a regular podcast or a web TV show. So who here has an authority business? A lot of times an authority business kicks in around the $500,000 mark. So your number one job as an authority business owner is to dream big and act even bigger. And some of you may evolve into this kind of business after Call Me and then List Build and then Authority. So when you evolve to this place, your focus is really on building your brand, growing your tribe, scaling your marketing, and sparking massive engagement in as many places as possible. So an authority business is often a natural progression once you've developed an audience and a handful of offerings that convert, like I have. But it's really hard to jump straight into an authority-style call to action if you're just getting started. You just won't have the income and the resources to sustain this model yet, so you're going to end up focusing all your efforts on marketing rather than on selling and fulfilling what you sell. So just like a baby doesn't go from infancy to adulthood overnight, you can't go from zero to an authority overnight unless you've got a large bank account, you've got a lot of high profit relationships, or you were born a marketing genius. The single biggest reason that I see people struggle to build a profitable business online and a profitable website is that they're using the wrong call to action on their website. They're focused on a model they've been taught that doesn't fit their business. So their call to action doesn't match the stage of business that they're in. So they might be focusing on the right strategies, but at the wrong time in their business. And as a result, they struggle to get results, sometimes for years. So there are a lot of gurus out there saying you've got to do ABC, you've got to do XYZ to succeed. But sometimes I think they have a little bit of amnesia about how they actually made it to where they are today because they probably had more of a progression. So what I want to do right now is focus you in on the right homepage and the right call to action for exactly where you are in business right now, so you can begin to improve your bounce rate and your on-page conversion, and you can generate more clients, build your business, and make more money right now, today, and not a year from now, but today. So now that you understand the theory of matching your number one most important call to action with your business model, let's actually check out some specific examples. And I see a lot of people, Lisa says, love that you show the progress from Call Me to Authority. It makes total sense. Someone's asked me, what would be a membership site? Most likely that would be a list build business. Debbie says, Authority, my next step, woohoo. All right, and Kate says, no wonder I've been feeling overwhelmed, he, he, he. Absolutely, Kate. So many experts are teaching you how to build business using strategies that might not be the right strategy for you at this point in your evolution. So I think your website and all your marketing and business building strategies really need to be tailored to where you are so you can start to benefit today rather than building this infrastructure that's complicated and overwhelming and hard to maintain that you're not going to really begin to benefit from until you've got an audience and you've got a mailing list and you've got a bunch of products and you've got all this extra stuff. So that's why I think it's so important to teach this stuff, because there's too many people out there teaching you to just, scale up to authority right out of the gate. And I've seen so many people spend years trying to do that without really, seeing the results. So what you see here on the screen right now is the top of a list build homepage. And by the way, I'm showing this to you in what I call wireframe mode, which is just the blueprint. So we strip out all of the graphics and the colors so we don't distract you from what's really going on. So you can kind of see the core mechanics here. So as I mentioned, this is what I call a list build homepage. And it's designed to get as many new visitors to opt into your mailing list as possible by removing all other distractions. So let me show you what I mean. What you'll notice is that the top of the page looks just like a mini landing page or a very compact squeeze page. You've got a headline with some supporting copy and a big call to action button. So the headline and the button can be placed on top of either a video banner, which is just simply a banner with a video on it, or on top of a photo banner like what you see here in this wireframe. So here's an example of the list build banner in the real world that I built for my client Morgana Ray's website. So the really ninja thing that we've done here is we put the navigation below the opt-in section to optimize the conversion of visitors to subscribers. So that means they see the CTA, that means call to action, the CTA, before the navigation and all the other choices for browsing her website. And our CTA here is that big, bold photo banner that draws people in, and that big gold Make Me a Money Magnet Morgana button that just stands out and kind of begs to be clicked. So how does it work? Do you think this works? Do you think this approach works? Well, absolutely. So in Morgana's own words, she says, my opt-ins are ridiculous. My list keeps growing by thousands every month. So with this new list build site design that we created for Morgana, she's growing her list organically about 12,000 people a year from her existing traffic. So going back to our model template, I want you to notice the placement of our big supersize button. So since people read from left to right and from up to down, that button becomes the most prominent feature on the page since it's right there in the left upper area of this template. So this layout expertly guides and directs attention exactly where you want it to go without distraction. So I'm going to show you some more design tweaks a little bit later for really optimizing your call to action buttons to make sure that they stand out and beg to be clicked. But first, I want to focus on overall layout and strategy. So you might be asking, Marisa, what happens when you click on the button? Well, it triggers what's called a modal or pop over that allows someone to opt in for your free gift. Now, this is important. This one tip can really boost your results quickly. So even just a year ago, sites used to have the name and the email fields right there on the page. So people knew right then and there that they were expected to put in their name and email to get the free gift. But that's kind of a big ask if someone doesn't already know you. And unfortunately, for a lot of people, it's too big of an ask, which explains why you might be seeing high bounce rates from your pages where you've got those name and those email fields. But here's where it gets interesting. What has evolved in the last year is more of a micro conversion. So a micro conversion is when you begin with a smaller ask before stepping your visitor up to larger and larger commitments. This page may look familiar to you. It's the opt-in page for this very training that you signed up to attend. And I'm really glad that you did because we're having so much fun and I can see it's a great community in the chat. And just by the way, if you're asking questions, Kimberly on my team is there in the chat and she's making sure we track all of your questions so I can come back to them at the end of this presentation because I'd really love to answer your questions and have a dialogue with you. So you would have seen that we've removed the name and the email fields from this page here. So all you saw was the button. And we did this because clicking a button is a much smaller commitment than putting in your name and email address right then and there. And because people are so much more likely to take a smaller commitment than a bigger one, more of you clicked, which is one of the reasons why we have such an awesome audience on the line today. So the button then launches a modal that includes the name and the email fields. Now here's the interesting psychology that makes this tweak so effective. Because your visitor has already made a commitment by clicking the button, they're now more likely to follow through on a larger commitment, which is giving you their name and their email address. So the modal design that we're using here also gives you the opportunity to reinforce why your free gift is so awesome and why your visitor should sign up with a compelling image and headline. We've got an 80% conversion on this opt-in page, which is awesome. So 80% plus. I mean, how many of you would love to get 80% plus conversions on your opt-in pages? Pretty good. So if you've got a list build business, I hope you can see how powerful it is to have this kind of call to action in the top 600 pixels of your website. Now let's move on to our next template. And our next site is the Call Me call to action. And it's often overshadowed by the list build site, since list building is such a big focus in the online business world. So I've been working with Chris Elam of bookaflashmob.com, and they do some really cool flash mobs for big clients like the NBA and IBM, and for individuals wanting to make a memorable wedding proposal or a special occasion. So Chris's business is based on people scheduling a free flash mob consultation with his team, then signing up from there for done-for-you flash mob services. So his current site, though a bit fugly, was actually performing pretty well for his business model. In fact, 3.5% of visitors to his site were scheduling a consultation call right away, and that translated to over 300 people each and every month. So Chris wanted to build a new site and brand, and as part of the brief, he asked about the possibility of incorporating list building into the site. So immediately, I realized that to change focus to a list build CTA, or to split focus away from the call me CTA as he was asking, would have reduced his calls on the front end, not increased them, and that's where all his revenue was coming from. And that's when I first realized that focusing on a call to action that doesn't fully serve your business model is a huge mistake. I see so many coaches, consultants, and service providers struggling to build a business based on a list build homepage, when a call me homepage could easily deliver them enough phone calls a month to completely fill their business. And the unfortunate thing is that so many people make this huge mistake. So let me ask you, are you using the right call to action for your business? Because a lot of people don't even have a call to action on the top of their homepage, and they're losing a huge amount of business. So Squarespace is a really great example of this. You may have admired their beautiful, graphic-rich, one-size-fits-all templates, but can you see what's missing here? Just really look. Well, if you're a first-time visitor, it's almost impossible to work out what you need to do first. There's no clear, compelling call to action that grabs your eye and compels you to take action. This template style works great if your business is just a hobby, but these templates are not so great for building your email list to market your programs or getting your phone ringing off the hook. So you can really fill your coaching practice because they're not designed to move people to action in a business context through a clear and compelling call to action banner. So if you can save all the technology questions to the end, I see there's a ton of technology questions. And what I'm trying to train right on is actually more important than technology at this point. It's how you're going to make money on your website. And I promise we can come back and talk about the technology after. I just want to make sure that you're not putting the cart ahead of the horse, because that's such a common phenomenon in the online world. They just think, oh, if I only have this plugin, if I only have this technology, if I only have this template, then my life is going to instantly improve. But really, the reason why most people don't make money from their website is they don't understand how to create a customer journey through their site that leads people from visitors into subscribers, into customers, into repeat customers, and into raving fans. So I really want to focus on this, and we can come back to all these questions at the end of the session. So the research has really shown that over and over, when you don't tell your visitors exactly what to do, they get confused and they leave. And it's really easy to make that mistake. And it's one that I almost let Chris make. So what we did is we decided to keep the top banner of his website focused exclusively on the call me call to action that was working so well for his business. And right in the top banner, you'll see 3 distinct call me invitations that reinforce the call me action. And the very first one is the get a free consultation button at the very top of the page. Now the second is a phone number listed in the navigation itself. And the third is the big call to action banner with the orange get started button that links right to his calendar. So you can still incorporate a list build call to action lower on the page if you choose, like what I'm doing with Chris, who came to me because he wanted to start building his list without quieting that phone. Now, the thing is, it's easy to make this mistake if you're not 100% crystal clear on what your site's most important number one action should be. But when you learn how to look at a website strategically and you're 100% clear on the number one action that your site needs to do to support your business, it becomes impossible to make this mistake again. So what's your site's number one action? Is it getting the phone to ring? Is it booking discovery calls? Is it building your list? Let me know in the chat, because how many of you would like to be like Chris and actually get something like, 30, 100, 300 like he is calls every single month? What would that do for your business? So while I'm waiting for your answers, let me show you what's possible when you put the right call to action that supports your business on your site in the top 600 pixels of each page. and really target it to what your prospects are looking for. So I've seen the right call to action reduce bounce rate on websites by 20% plus, simply because people are now seeing what they expect to see instead of either seeing nothing specific or a mismatched call to action that doesn't make sense. So if you think back to the 2 life coach examples that I showed you earlier, the first one was confusing, and the second one is crystal clear on the action it wanted you to take. So do you think that by incorporating the right call to action on your site, we could decrease the amount of confusion by 10% and really keep those people on your page for longer? That would work out to an extra 100 people per month sticking around on your site. And now, thanks to your awesome new call to action, do you think it's possible that just 1% more people might be inspired to take that action? Like in our life coach example from before. If we can agree that this is not only reasonable, but actually probable, then you've just improved your results based on 1,000 visits per month, just 1,000, and that's pretty, easy to achieve, from just 3 to 4 actions per month to 8 to 10 actions per month. So what difference would that make in your business and your life? So let me know in the chat box if this is landing for you. And if you don't even have a call to action on your pages yet, then what are you waiting for? The stuff really, really works. So I see Gail says getting people on the phone is the #1 priority, list number 2. Sherry says getting people out to the studio. Ronald, getting the phone to ring and people talking to me about how I can help them with my expertise, training and coaching. Marie, my #1 action is getting the phone call. So a lot of people saying getting the phone call. Diane, grow the number of strategy sessions. Excellent. All right, so a lot of feedback there. So now let's move on to the last kind of website, the authority site. And this one really became clear to me as I evolved my business from a pure list build business to becoming a well-regarded, trusted expert in my industry. And I realized that our site was working great to build our list and sell our training programs, but it wasn't really appealing to our higher-end clients who were investing at the $50,000 to $100,000 level. So you see, high-end clients, they're looking for a different experience. They want to know that you're the best. They want to see who you've worked with, what you've done, and what you believe. They're less interested in that instant gratification through a free checklist or a report or a training video, and more interested in evaluating who you are and what you can do for them that nobody else can. They're not just interested in what you do, they're interested in the experience of working with you. Now that's why you'll see these big famous ad agencies like Wyden and Kennedy not necessarily ask their audience to do anything. Instead, they feature compelling visuals and content to position themselves as the famous Wyden and Kennedy. And that's also why you'll see these famous writers like Seth Godin lead with a big picture of themselves, and again, not really ask their audience to do anything specific. He's just saying, here I am, go explore. And at this point, he doesn't have anything to prove. And the best thing he can do is reinforce his brand and the relationship he has with his audience. Now that's why you're going to see that the authority site is designed to convert simply through positioning authors, speakers, media personalities, and thought leaders as the #1 authorities in their field, while showcasing what makes them unique and different. So we've placed the navigation and the visual branding on top here, but this is minimized because the focus of the page is one super compelling, high-quality photo of you, the authority, the brand, the person that everybody's coming to check out. Now, I still recommend having a call to action button here, combining the best of both worlds, building authority while increasing conversions in a way that starts your visitors along a clear customer journey. For example, perhaps your button prompts your visitor to download a copy of your book in exchange for an opt-in, but the #1 focus here is on reinforcing your brand and positioning you as a trusted leader and an authority. Now that's why we follow this banner with media logos to further reinforce your expert status. So can you see how identifying your business model gives you the clarity on what kind of homepage CTA you need to have that actually easily reduces your bounce rate by 10 to 20% and has a huge impact on your homepage conversion? So imagine for a second what it could mean if you not only did this for your homepage, but you built this into every single page on your site. So every page was optimized for the right call to action for that page that supported your business model. What if you could increase the results of every single page on your entire website? What would that do for your business? So if you do it like I just showed you, you're going to quickly see this huge multiplication effect happening to your bottom line, not to mention what I call your impact line. And it didn't require more traffic or advertising or spending extra time on social media or any of the other stuff that you might be doing right now to build your business. So next up, I want to talk about website design do's and don'ts, because design has a huge effect on your conversions. And a lot of people really neglect the signals they're sending to the market. I mean, you may have heard that the way people perceive you is just based 20% on what you say and 80% in the way that you see it. And the same thing with your website. What you say about yourself is only a small fraction of the way people perceive you. And a lot of that comes out in the design and the look and feel of what you're sending to the world, because you can tell whether you can trust someone or not trust someone based on that look and feel. It really speaks louder than your words. And getting results on the web depends on two very, very important things. First of all, you need to get attention, to get noticed, to attract your ideal audience, and differentiate yourself from everybody else out there who does what you do. And that goes to decrease your bounce rate and keep people on your site for longer. And once you have their attention, you need to focus it on the action that you want them to take. So they sign up, get on the phone, and buy, which increases your on-page conversions. And this is what good design does. So in this section, I'm going to give you my pro secrets for designing your pages to get real results. But here's the challenge. There's a super, super powerful force that's getting in the way of your ability to grab and hold your audience's attention. So can anybody guess what it is? Can anyone let me know in the chat what this force is that's getting in the way of grabbing and holding your audience's attention? So for those of you who've guessed, it's distraction. And distraction happens when you draw attention to things that just aren't important, or you accidentally pull focus away from what you really wanted to emphasize. And it's really easy to distract people. It's really easy to lose new visitors to your website before they've even had a chance to do anything. Because distraction is a more natural state for most people than focus. It's much, much easier to distract people than it is to focus and hold their attention. So just like it takes effort and discipline to take a room clean, to really keep a room clean, especially for me, it also takes effort and discipline to use graphic design in a way that guides attention and inspires action. So here's an example from the world of big business, and it underlines that you can get this wrong no matter the size of your design budget. It's not about the money that you spend on design, it's how you're able to focus what it is that you're conveying to your audience. So here's an actual screenshot I took last night of the apple.com website. It's completely focused on simplicity and the #1 most important action they want you to take, which is learning more about their beautiful new iPhone 6. So do you think a lot of people respond to that call to action? You bet. Now, does your website really mirror the simplicity and the focus of Apple? Or does it more resemble this site? A lot of times when sites are cramped or cluttered like this one, it's kind of hard to know where to look. You can't really pick out anything specific because everything is on top of each other. So your eye just bounces around the page rather than focusing in on something. So remember what I said about distraction. It's your enemy if you want to make money with your website. So think about it this way. Imagine you're standing in Grand Central Station in New York, and there are people everywhere. So what do you notice? You notice a lot of people, right? A crowd of people. And the more people there are, the less likely you are to notice anybody in particular. But say that you're standing on a deserted train platform. You look out and you see one person there on the other side, and most likely you're going to notice them, really kind of check them out. Well, the same goes for good design. It's not about filling the space with as much as possible, but emptying the space so your visitor can focus on what you want them to see. The less clutter you have on the page, the more readable and browsable your site becomes. So thinking about your site now, what changes could you make to simplify and focus your visitor on the one important call to action that you want them to take, which would increase your on-page conversion rate? So here's a real-world example from the Social Media Superhero Summit website that we created in late 2013. We spent a whole bunch of time drawing these amazing superhero characters for our presenters, and I really wanted to incorporate them into the website as much as possible. So my idea was to put them right there in the navigation, to the left and to the right of our Summit logo. And as you can see here on the screen, it looked awesome. But when we split tested this navigation against a simpler navigation with no characters, we saw that the simple navigation outperformed the version with the characters. The simple navigation resulted in 22% more sales of our superhero pack and more clicks through the website. We were so in love with our own cool design that we accidentally drew too much attention to the top of our website rather than the rest of the page, which is where we really wanted our visitors to focus. So oftentimes when it comes to design, the simpler, the better. The simpler, the better. I mean, all those fancy parallax backgrounds, they're really cool looking, but they often distract from what you really want people to look at. Now let me give you another surprising example from the Social Media Superhero Summit. So on the screen, you can see the first version of our landing page. So it looks great, right? What do you think is the problem? If you look closely, you'll notice the bottom of the playbook graphic is bright orange. It matches the bright orange download your ebook button. So it's actually competing with the button and reducing opt-ins by a lot. So we updated this landing page with a new version of the playbook that had a gray band on the bottom. So instead of orange, we used gray, and we saw a nice lift in the conversions or the number of people signing up. So if you look closely, you're going to also notice that the page background and all the other colors on the page are different from the button color. We deliberately made everything else kind of monochrome so the button would really stand out. You want to use a distinct button color such as orange or gold and make your button the only instance of that color within eyeshot. That way you're training people to click the button every time they see that shade of orange. So let me give you a different example. My friend Alicia Dunham's recently launched a beautiful new website. And on first glance, it looks awesome, really nice, really coordinated. But here's the problem. Just in the top 500 pixels, her gold Get Started Now button is competing with 3 other big splashes of yellow on the page: the home page, her logo, and her shirt. So what happens is her visitors' eyes bounce between these 4 splashes of color. They just kind of bounces around. And that takes them away from opting in. It takes their focus away from that Get Started Now button. Then, to make matters worse, right below the opt-in, Alicia has this series of scrolling media logos which distracts even more from her opt-in. Now here's the thing. The human eye is uniquely designed to pick up on 2 things: contrast and movement. Movement was how we as a species could avoid getting eaten by predators, and contrast is how we found food in a meadow of similar looking plants. So on Alicia's design, 2 things happen. Her main opt-in button lacks contrast because her designer was focused on making everything coordinate and match, make it all matchy-matchy, rather than really thinking about what would get the most results for Alicia. So her visitors really aren't guided toward clicking the button. And the moving media logos pull attention away from the opt-in because our eyes are instantly drawn towards movement. We're just hardwired that way. Now, how's this landing for you? Is it making sense? Are you starting to see just how easy it is to distract your visitors' attention with design, even if it looks good? Let me know in the chat. So just really let me know in the chat here. So while I wait for your answers to come in, let me show you a website that I designed for Alexis Neely, who also goes by the name Ali Shanti. So you'll notice that we have 4 hand-drawn arrows pointing into the main opt-in button. And you really can't miss this button on the page. So hand-drawn visual prompts like arrows or accent fonts can really help guide attention because they stand out from the crisper headline and body fonts chosen for readability. as well as the more consistent geometrical shapes on the page. So remember, the eye sees contrast or what's different first. So if these arrows feel a little bit too in your face, don't worry. There's a lot of other ways to use this technique, and some are more subtle and some are more bold, and you really get to choose what supports the look and feel of your business. I'm going to show you a few more examples here. But first, I'm just checking in with you. I see Michelle says it's clear as a bell. Barbara, yes, looking good isn't always doing good. Absolutely. And Rindy says, yes, glad now I'm starting with a blank slate. Gina says, arrows are my best friend. Kate says, great info, real aha moments. And Ronald said, that in itself is a tip worth learning today. Fabulous. Just wanted to make sure I'm serving you right now. So let me show you a few examples of how to use visual cues to move people's attention down a page. So we use these thin gray arrows in our Message to Money sales page, and these are the same arrows that we just used on Justin Callan's The Leap sales page that grossed them $4 million. And it really helps to keep people progressing down the page from section to section, and it works, especially when you have a long form sales letter and you want your prospects to keep scrolling down. So here's another example from our Message to Money live page. And this time we use a more fluid, organic shape at the bottom of each section to continue guiding the eye down the page in a softer, more pleasing way. You can also use arrows to break up page sections, solid boxes, or thick lines, which otherwise can stop the movement of your visitor's eye down the page. So in this case, we added subtle triangular wedges pointing down into the next section. So this simple visual cue helps draw attention exactly where we want it to go. So your big takeaway for this section is that pretty doesn't always convert or perform. That's why if you were to hire a designer to implement the stuff that I've showed you here today, most of them might resist doing it. And this is really because they went to design school. They didn't go to business school. They don't know about marketing, and they're just not aware of the business impact of the choices that they make on your behalf. So designers value harmony and balance in the design, as we saw on Alicia's website. But the most effective design from a conversion standpoint always has to break the harmony in order to guide attention where you want it to go. And that's why most designers are going to actively resist the kinds of suggestions that I shared with you here, because they think it makes their design less attractive. In fact, many of my students have asked their designers to make changes based on my feedback, only to have their designer completely resist their suggestions. Now that you know what works, you're going to be able to guide yourself, guide your team, and guide any designers that you hire toward creating a site that's actually going to make you money. So let's talk about the future of your business and the future of your website. Because all these design strategies are for nothing if you don't get this next thing right. So reports show that between 40 to 60% of all web traffic now comes from mobile devices like cell phones and tablets. And what's more, mobile internet browsing now exceeds desktop usage everywhere in the world. Now that means people are browsing your site on the go from their smartphones and from their couch with their tablets. So if you built your site 2 years ago or more like I did, it probably wasn't designed to be mobile responsive. And you could be losing all those visitors because your site doesn't look great for them. So if you think I'm exaggerating, think back to the last time you went to a website on your cell phone and it clearly wasn't designed for mobile. And so you mess around with all those fiddly drop-down menus and you try to navigate to the right page only to choose the wrong page because your fingers just couldn't tap that tiny little button no matter how far you zoomed in. How long did it take you to give up and just hit the back button? For me, it's usually about 4 seconds. And what happens when you can't find the information you need? You give up and you leave pretty fast, right? And the same thing could be happening on your website. If you designed your site more than 2 years ago, before mobile browsing became so big, then chances are it's not properly responsive. And that could be contributing to a large website bounce rate. So what's responsive mean? Responsive websites are designed from the ground up to show the best version of a website depending on the viewing device. And it does more than resize your site. It actually reorganizes and changes the shape of your content to make sure that your top CTA banner continues to get the attention it deserves. It also hides content on smaller screens, so your visitor doesn't have to scroll endlessly on their phone. So let me use our Online Business Superhero Summit website as an example. Here's how the site looks on desktop computers. Take a good look for a moment. Now here's how it looks on tablets. You can see that it's organized to make better use of the smaller screen. And here's how it looks on mobile phones. So it looks completely different again. It suits the small screen, but it still looks awesome. And it's branded consistently with the main website. So during our summit, we had around 15,000 people land on this opt-in page. In previous summits, we've seen an opt-in rate between 60 to 70%. But this time we made the effort to go responsive and make it super easy to register from any device. So do you think this paid off? You tell me, because for the very first time, our conversion rate shot up to 94% at certain periods of time with certain audiences. And that 20 to 30 extra percent conversion translated to almost 13,000 opt-ins per event, live audiences of up to 500 people each day, and over $250,000 in sales. So it was a huge performance over the previous results we've gotten in other summits, and really underlined for me exactly how much traffic we were missing out before we made the switch. So I was like, why didn't we do this sooner? So now, do you think it was worth the time and the investment for us to build mobile and tablet versions of this website? Absolutely, because we would have lost thousands of leads and tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars if we hadn't done it. So let's bring this all back to what it could mean to you if you were to go and implement this stuff in your business right away. So at the start, we saw that your site may not be a match for your business model. For example, you could be trying to build your list when your business actually relies on getting the phone to ring. Or you could be trying to position yourself as an authority at the wrong time in the wrong way. And because of this mismatch between your business and your website, your visitors don't know what to do next, and they end up leaving without taking action or buying. So what if you could get your site to so exactly match your business model that every single person who visited your site knew they were in the right place and knew what they needed to do next to go further with you? So do you think that doing this could keep just an extra 5% of visitors on your site for just a little bit longer? And now that your site is tuned into the right business model, do you think that perhaps 2 more people out of 100 might be interested in putting up their hand to take the next step with you, whether that's a phone call, a discovery session, or to opt in for a free gift or buy something? And what about tweak number 2? We saw that most sites either have no call to action at all or the wrong call to action for their business. Can we agree that if you add in a great call to action across your site that was really, really attractive to your audience, like the right opt-in gift or a discovery call or session that really promised a juicy outcome for them, and that's important to make sure the outcome is attractive enough for them to spend their time, then you could get an extra 5% of your visitors to take you up on that. So let me know in the chat if you think this is reasonable, and if you think you could make a plan to get a call to action in place for your website that could do this. Then we talked about how to approach web design from a different perspective, looking at conversion instead of harmony. So think back to how you feel on sites that really look the part. You feel like you're in the right place and you feel safe to invest more time there. You'll feel drawn in to go deeper. So using everything I taught you about how to make things more attractive and how to position you in the right way as an authority and how to really direct your visitors' attention to where it most needs to go, do you think that you could reduce confusion and guide people to take action more effectively? What if we could keep just an extra 5% of your visitors on your site? And with these tips that you learned, would it be reasonable to imagine that you could inspire at least 1 extra person out of 100 to subscribe and to sign up, to contact you, or take some other kind of action? And finally, we just saw that at least half of your visitors are now visiting your site on their phones or on their tablets, which could explain why your bounce rate is so high. So what if the first thing you did after this session was to go out and figure out how to make your website responsive so that every single one of those 50% of people could actually see and use your site properly? So do you think out of that extra amount of new visitors who could finally see and use your site properly, do you think we could keep just 10% of them on your site for a little bit longer? Well, I think we could easily do that. And after all, they're coming to your site for a reason. And if you present them a great mobile experience, then they're very likely to stick around, especially considering the amount of sites that don't. So even being totally modest with the numbers, we've built this business from 3 to 4 actions a month into 50 to 60 actions. And that's without spending any more time or another cent on marketing, traffic, social media, anything like that. Now that's a 15 to 20 times increase through making really small incremental adjustments and tweaks that I just showed you. So what would that kind of increase in your business mean in your life? Let me know in the chat how you'd feel about that. And what if you implemented these and got most of them wrong? It could still at least double your current results, right? And would that be worth trying? So I can see the comments that are flowing in, and it looks like you've got some questions and you're liking the tips and the strategies that I'm sharing with you today. And I'm definitely going to get to some Q&A so I can come back around to a lot of the questions that you're asking there. But it looks like you are starting to see how these small improvements can have huge impacts on your bottom line, which is awesome. So I want to put the excitement aside for just a second and ask you a really important question. What's stopping you from going out and doing it? What's stopping you? What's the number one issue holding you back right now? And just go ahead and type it in. Maybe you don't have the technical know-how, or you don't have the thousands and thousands of dollars it takes to have someone just build a new site for you. Or perhaps you're the sort of person who likes to have a roadmap to get from here to there before you can feel 100% confident moving forward. So whatever the biggest reason is for you that could be holding you back, let me know what it is in the chat box, whether it's time or technology or support. Just go ahead and type it in, because I'm really interested to know what's on your mind, because I've got something to tell you about in just a moment that could really, really help you. So while you do that, I want to tell you a quick story. While I was living in San Diego a few years ago, I used to go to a masseuse by the name of Drew. Now, Drew's a real master of massage, and I would go in all sore and achy, and after 2 hours of just being rubbed and kneaded and stretched by Drew, I had emerged feeling so much lighter and more relaxed. And the interesting thing is that in the same building as Drew, there was this dance studio. And every Tuesday, they'd have the beginner classes. And there would always be a few kind of geeky-looking couples, shy couples taking their first session. And invariably, they'd look kind of anxious. They were worried about the next step. They were worried about making the wrong moves. But there was always this really nice, sweet lady there, their instructor. And she was smiling and she was confident and she knew everything they need to be shown. And that all they needed was to really be shown the way. And they could be successful doing something that they'd never done before. And the feeling of having her there just calms them down and gives them the confidence that they can do it too. And the really interesting thing is that within a few sessions, they don't even need her anymore. They're gliding and sashaying and really starting to enjoy it because they begin to realize that you've got to be bad at something before you can be good at something. And the more they start to do it and have the right support, the more confident they get. And sometimes all we need to do is have the confidence to try something that may have seemed scary or difficult. And all you need to do that is to have someone beside you who knows the path you need to follow. And that sure, steady hand guides you along the right path, either to a great tango or a great website that's really optimized to grow your business. So I'm looking here in the chat and I'm looking and seeing kind of what is stopping you right now. And I see some people are saying money, and Empress is saying not knowing what to write. And gosh, it's going so quickly, it's hard to see. So there's a lot of people saying all of the above, absolutely so true. So here's what I'd like to offer you today. We've developed a new online training program called Your Website in a Weekend. And it really is the confident, steady hand to guide you through the process of building a website that actually makes you money and grows your business. Not just a website that says what you do, but a website that enrolls people into moving forward with you. Inside Your Website in a Weekend is the guidance that you need to lead you through the entire process of building a reliable, solid path to cash and impact on your website. From the moment when someone new lands on your site to the very first action they take. to what they do next, to what they buy, and what they keep buying. So we'll lead you through the process of mapping out your entire customer journey from first impression onwards, then weaving that journey into your website so your customer always knows what to do next. So thanks to the 100 websites that we build every year for our clients, and as we build and test pages that literally bring in millions for our clients, we figured out exactly what works online and what doesn't. From strategy to technology, from design to copy, we understand what turns people off and what turns people on. And we've taken all of our knowledge over doing this over the last 5 years and packaged it into 3 full days of training that you can access anytime you want to. So as our client Laurel Collins says, this is the only website training you will ever need, ever. To me, this is the website information you need to know to be progressive in your business. So I invite you to think for a moment about your website like your body double, meeting and greeting people every single day, doing the work of building relationships that turn visitors into loyal fans. Your website really can become one of the biggest assets in your business if you know how to approach the process in the right way. And that takes out all of the unnecessary bells and whistles and features that actually take your time and distract your visitors from what's really important, which is taking the next step with you. So we've begun to share that process with you in this presentation, and there's a lot more to learn about how to build your website and craft your customer journey from first action to first sale and beyond through the right headlines, the right call to actions, the right autoresponder emails, and a whole lot more. So let me share with you what's inside your website in a weekend so you really get a sense of how you can turn your website into an asset that builds your business and makes you money every single day, like the examples that we've seen over the last hour. So session number 1 is called Your Path to Cash, and it literally shows you the quickest path to cash for your unique business model. And the thing is, if your online platform's not delivering results, it's not because your content's bad or because you're not good at what you do. The problem probably has nothing at all to do with you. It could be because your website's not correctly matched to your number 1 most important business goal. So if your business and your website are pulling in different directions, then how can you make money? And what's the value to you of creating a site that actually works toward your business goals? In this session, we'll dive right in and you'll get crystal clarity on exactly why your site isn't delivering results and what your unique path to cash looks like. You'll discover there are, in fact, 3 ways your website can grow your business and how to make the quick fix required to flip the switch on big income and big impact. You'll also discover how to choose a memorable branded URL that positions you and what you do perfectly. Then in session 2, you'll learn what your website's must-have pages are and how to leverage them powerfully to build your business. For example, together we're going to identify the exact unique homepage layout most likely to take your specific business to the next level. You'll discover the best practices for your coaching, consulting, services, and programs pages so you can command high ticket prices for what you do, even if you're in a price-sensitive market. You'll learn how to use your blog to powerfully position you as the authority in what you do while invisibly pulling your traffic into your product and service funnels. You'll also learn the art and science of using your initial free consultation page, because I know so many of you are in a call me business, to give prospects a taste of working with you that ensures massive take-up on your offerings. You'll also master the ugly stepchild page of most business websites, which is the About page. We'll show you ninja techniques to spark massive connection, build trust, and really get the cash register ringing. The best site navigation to use to funnel your visitors to the money pages as quickly as possible, where you can really begin a deeper relationship with them. How to set up an extended footer to keep people on your site, browsing longer and going deeper with you. So our goal for this session is to give you the roadmap to increase conversion by a large amount across each page of your site, which naturally results in massive gains for your bottom line. So moving on, unless you can motivate your visitor to take action to join your list, sign up, register, schedule a discovery call, etc., within seconds, then your site can't succeed. So that's why in session 3, you're going to uncover the perfect, specific, and irresistible call to action for your website to fill your funnel with as many leads as you can handle. You'll learn little-known conversion strategies that you can use on each and every page of your site to inspire maximum conversion of visitors into action takers and buyers. You'll see how to create the right high-value gift, template, tool, or spreadsheet, which we call ethical bribes, so that your visitor have no choice but to opt in for what you're offering, priming the pump for sales. Then session number 4 is your shortcut to massive credibility. The difference between you and the A players isn't the big stuff like how good you are at what you do. Quite counterintuitively, it's in fact the small details that signal that you're a pro. Things like your color and font choices, your photography, and your graphics. So getting this right is the difference between 10xing your conversion or turning people off in droves. So in this session, we give you my most powerful lessons. You're going to learn how the pros use color palettes to send the right signals about their brand in just 3 seconds that powerfully set them apart. The 4 essential font styles that your site needs to be taken seriously. Most people have too few or too many, and both are real deal killers for your credibility. You're going to learn the right way to do your signature photo, the photo that truly captures the essence of who you are and instantly attracts your ideal client on your website and your social media profiles. And finally, you'll learn the tricks to finding the right stock imagery for your site that sends the right signals and doesn't instantly undermine all your hard-won credibility. And that all makes the sale so much harder when you don't have the right images to support you. Then in session 5, words that sizzle, you'll see that the right words can mean much more than doubling your business. You'll learn why copywriting is different to blogging and other kinds of writing that you might do for the web, and how to write copy that can speak directly to your prospects' deepest fears and needs, that can literally reach out of the screen and touch their heart and move them to action. How do you write headlines that compel massive action? What are the kinds of words to use and what are the words to never use? And we'll also cover how to write call to actions that are short and punchy and really convey the benefit of what it is that you're offering. And finally, we'll talk about the new way to write emails that actually get read. So some topics we'll touch on include structuring and pacing your email for maximum consumption, so people actually read them all the way to the end, along with optimal contrast and word choice to interrupt any negative patterns in your reader that have them hitting the delete button. So when business success can and does hinge on picking the right words, what's it going to be worth to your bottom line to know exactly which words to use? And finally, in session 6, we demystify the tech stuff in a simple, easy, and fun way. So first, if you're going into business online in any kind of volume, then you're going to need a merchant account. So we're going to talk about how to select the right merchant account for your business. It's not going to lock your money away if you happen to have a good month. We've actually had assets frozen because we made too much money. Next, we'll cover the 2 key pieces of technology that every single online business owner needs to make money. And that's your CRM, your customer relationship manager, which is where you keep your customer records, and your email marketing service, and how to choose the right one for you depending on your goals and depending on your future needs. So video has been proven to increase conversion by up to 80%, but most people make it harder than it needs to be. So we'll show you the best, low-cost, no-tech ways to quickly and cheaply add video to your website. So how much value could you create if you freed yourself from drudgery, from tech nightmares, and everything else that you weren't good at? The reason why that most sites haven't made money is that the business owner hasn't built their site around a clear path to cash or customer journey. So it's our mission and it's our goal to bring our knowledge to the world and help as many people as possible. And in Website in a Weekend, we show you how to do it all, from strategy to technology to design to copy. We reveal so much you could probably even take what's in there and open up in competition with us. Actually, a lot of the people who take this course are designers and competing web agencies who want to learn what they do better. So your Website in a Weekend, it's not just one of those courses you're going to buy and let sit on the shelf and never use. It's a simple paint-by-numbers path to cash business growth program that will almost reach through the screen and show you practically step-by-step how to create a path that's so crystal clear for your visitors that they'll feel compelled and inspired to take it with you. And I know you want to be free to share your gifts and your skills and your expertise with the world, but that's an unattainable goal if you don't get what I'm sharing with you today in your website in a weekend. So we've really brought together all the strategies that we've forged building sites for leading 6, 7, and 8-figure online entrepreneurs. So our client, Michelle Schubnell of Coach and Grow Rich, had this to say: I needed website help big time. I had a website for many years, but it was time to do an upgrade. I had 3 false starts and invested a lot of money with other people unsuccessfully before I decided to invest with Marisa and her team. My new Coach and Grow Rich site rocks. It attracts 300% more visitors than my old site, and I get tons more organic traffic than I did before. My opt-in rate has increased 71% too. Now our clients Callan Rush and Justin Livingstone say, people are raving about the new sales page. Our team feels much better about what we're offering because of that page. That was an unforeseen benefit. We sold $925,000 from it in the first 12 hours and $4 million during our 3-week launch. And relationship with money author, speaker, and coach Morgana Ray says, I feel very proud of my new website. My opt-ins are ridiculous. My list keeps growing by more than 1,000 every month. So if after watching this training, you've decided that now's the time to implement some of these tweaks in your business and that you really need this roadmap in front of you before you get started on a new site or take your existing site to the next level, there's 2 real reasons to have support through this process. The first is that if you're going to do it yourself, you need to make the best use of that time. Because at this stage, trial and error is the absolute most expensive form of investment that you can make in your business. And I've seen so many countless coaches and entrepreneurs who decided to figure it all out by themselves. Don't do that, because you absolutely want to have a proven roadmap to work from to ensure that you don't make the mistakes that keep others spinning for months, wasting valuable time and losing thousands of dollars in clients, sales, and business. So if you took what you've learned today and fully applied it to your business, how many people think you could avoid $5,000 or more worth of mistakes and wasted time? How much is your time really worth? Now, what about $10,000? We've had people come to us after investing $50,000 in a beautiful website that wasn't getting them any results at all because they never stop to ask, well, how's my site going to make money? How am I going to market my website? And the thing that they always tell us is that they wish they would have found out about us before they made all those mistakes and spent all that money. So how much would it be worth to you if you had the complete roadmap for monetizing your website? And the second reason why this matters is that if you're going to hire someone to build your site for you, which is a really smart move, by the way, then you need to make sure that they're going to build you a site that's actually going to work to build your business. And the most intelligent move you can make is to simply have them go through your website in a weekend before they begin work. We have all our designers take this course before they begin working for us, and a lot of our clients do too. So most business web design projects begin at $5,000 to $10,000, and we regularly do $50,000 to $100,000 web projects for industry leaders. And I've got to say, whether you're building your first site, your second, your third, or the sites that's going to take your business from 6 figures to 7, or even from 7 figures to 8, the key is to really having a website that really makes money and builds your business. The key is the thinking that allows you to build it right the first time. It's the customer journey that you embed into your website. So if you'd like to join us and get started right away, Bill Barron has asked us to give you a deep discount on the usual Your Website in a Weekend retail price. So I'm not sure how he did it, and if you know Bill Barron, you know how lovely and amazing and persuasive he can be. But I've agreed to give you guys a huge discount over the usual investment of $2,000. So just for you and only until midnight on June 11th, I'm happy to accept new students for just $997. So click the button below to immediately start benefiting from the entire 6-session Your Website in a Weekend program, or visit yourwebsiteinaweekend.com/special. So how quickly is this program going to pay for itself? And that's a question that I always ask when investing in something new. If you use these materials to attract just 1 or 2 more clients in the next month, then you've paid for this program. And if you go all out and implement everything that you find in Your Website in a Weekend, then I know that this small $997 investment is going to pay for itself many, many times over. And I've seen it happen for my high-level clients like Justin and Callan. They thought it was a lot to invest in rebuilding their sites and their platforms, but the very first thing that we rolled out grossed them $4 million. And I know you're not at that point yet, and I'm not trying to suggest that you're going to make $4 million with your website right off the bat, but I've seen this kind of exponential growth happen for a lot of Your Website in a Weekend students. So every day I receive emails with more success stories, and I really want you to be one of them too soon. Naturally, we do have a guarantee, which means that you're not risking anything by trying us out. It's a full 30 days to decide if this is for you. But if you're the kind of person who doesn't take action, then I do want to respectfully ask you not to invest in this program. To get results in this program or anything in life, you need to take at least a small level of action. I think that's fair to say. So next up, we're going to give you a few bonuses. And the very first bonus that I'm going to give you is a ticket to Message to Money Live. Now, this ticket is valued at $997. We're doing our next live event in July, from July 15th through July 17th in Los Angeles. Oh, actually, I'm giving you 2 tickets. So 2 tickets valued at $997 each to come join us in Los Angeles for Message to Money Live, where we really share how to build a website and a web presence that not only attracts, but helps you convert and engage your audience. So you really build that thriving platform that's going to position you for the next level of success and to get into a room of people who truly care, who are truly inspirational, and will give you the passion and energy and breakthroughs to really get moving, get inspired, get reinvigorated, and come back with a crystal clear strategy, not just on what you're doing, but on how to say, how to turn your message into money. We're also going to give you the recording pack, the superhero pack for our online business superhero summit, which is valued at $297. So you have a whole resource library of online business strategies to use once you get that core web presence converting, because it's important to understand. And I think in that training, we've got things by Lisa Sasevich, we've got trainings by Ryan Levesque, we've got trainings by, I think, Andy Jenkins. We've got a lot of awesome trainings in there. So remember, you can sign up at yourwebsiteinaweekend.com/special, and that we're offering right now a 50% discount on the course, which is usually $1,997. You can have it today for $997. So what I want to ask you next before we move on to Q&A is, when you first started your business, did you know everything about how to build and grow and run it in advance? Did you read all the books, and were you an expert and have all the details? Did you know that you'd be working all those long hours in advance? Probably not. But let me ask you, would you ever quit your business? Would you ever stop helping people? Would you ever go back to some meaningless job that you didn't really care about? You wouldn't, right? You'd never quit in a million years, because you're committed to helping people with what you can do for them. So even though you don't have all the details, you didn't have all the details about how to build and grow your business to the next level, you can still move forward. It can still work out great, right? And once you move forward and begin this journey with us, when we receive your payment, you'll receive details to log into the secure membership site. And as you begin to browse through the trainings, you're going to start to see that this is much simpler than that's much simpler than you thought it could be. And it's funny, the more you see how simple it can be, the more you'll feel confident that you can do this, that it's possible for you, that it can actually be fun to tweak your website. It doesn't have to be a technological headache, because at the end of the day, you get to be able to help so many more people and change lives with what you do, your expertise and your life experience. So let's move on to questions, because I've been seeing lots of questions coming through. And I see that Tracy has already signed up. So welcome, Tracy, to the community. And Patricia's saying, this is fantastic. Thank you. Jillian saying, thank you so much for all this amazing information and inspiration, Marisa, and the gifts. You're welcome. Lynn saying, too bad your dates coincide with Bill Barron's coaching program retreat. Not to worry, Lynn, we'll do another event at the first quarter of next year. So if you can't make our July event, you can also come in the first quarter of next year. Lynn wants to know, are the 6 sessions live? Lynn, this is pre-recorded content. So No worries about having to make it at a specific time. It's all pre-recorded. You can access it right away and go through it at a schedule that works best for you, and have lifetime access to it so you can keep coming back as well. So it sounds like Michelle just joined us as well. Welcome, Michelle. I look forward to working with you. And Maria. So welcome, Maria. So welcome to Tracy, Michelle, and Maria. And you also, so Kim wants to know, is this a hard copy or is it all digital? It's a digital program. So you're going to be able to have instant lifetime access to it. And with us, we include all of the program updates as well. So, you know, some people, they offer a program and then when they update it, they want you to kind of buy it again. We actually give you the program for life, including all the different updates we make with the program. So that's definitely going to be you. Oh, this is funny. Lynn's asking, is this program accessible to non-geek people? Yes, Lynn, great question. This is absolutely accessible to non-geek people. I may have been geeky in a past life. I'll admit it, in high school I was geeky. But really, the focus is on how to monetize your website. You know, we definitely share with you the technology and the how-to details, but the focus is really on the strategy for monetizing your site, how to write your copy, how to choose the graphics, a lot of how-to create that impression that you really want to create. So we've had a ton of like non-techie people go through the course and they had no challenges at all with the technology piece of it. So Cynthia asks, yes, but if you know nothing, does it teach you how you can do this yourself? You know, absolutely, Cynthia, we teach you how you can do this yourself for sure. We give you technology options. And, you know, even if you decide that you want to work with us and have us build your website, we actually we apply the tuition of your website in a weekend towards your website, but that's not at all essential. I just want to let you know, if you decide to go through it, you can either make the choice to do it yourself, or you can get the course for free and have us apply your tuition towards building your site. So we've had a lot of people do that as well. So Tracy says, do you cover the how-to tech stuff too? As a beginner to website building, can I really use this program? Tracy, as a beginner, this program is really the best kind of program to use because it doesn't just focus on the technology, because a lot of people can build websites and use the technology, but it also focuses on how to create a customer journey in your website that has people not just land on your site, but take action on your site. And we do go into the tech stuff as well. We do let you know some awesome resources for getting your site built, you know, quickly, cheaply, or investing more money if that's what you want to do. Whatever way is best for you and your website to get the results that you want based on where you currently are, you know, in your business. We definitely give you options. So welcome to Kimberly and to Helmet. Welcome Kimberly and Helmet, who've signed up as well. And so Lynn's asking the start date. So the start date is now. The content's pre-recorded. We've already taught it all, so you can access it exactly when you want it. And we also have accountability kind of built into the membership site. So we guide you through going through the program right away. Let's see. So next up, I've got a question from, let me see, I'm trying to get through and see it. Salvador wants to know, is this course valid for creative services? Oh, absolutely. We've had people who went through this course who was graphic designers. We've had sculptors, we've had photographers, we've had, you know, all kinds of creative artists and creative professionals take this course and really understand how to build a site that's going to move people to action. And honestly, for creative professionals, so many of them focus on featuring their work in some kind of portfolio that they forget to use a lot of the more online conversion strategies that actually get people on the phone with them to sell their offers. So Vanessa says, will this program work for me as I'm just getting started with my business? So Vanessa, as long as you have a general focus for your business, then this program will be super helpful. The program doesn't cover how to figure out your unique niche, for example, or to understand who your customers are. But once you understand that, you've got a basic idea of what your business is about, I really lead you through the process of understanding your customer journey, which means understanding what you want to sell and understanding how to kind of reverse engineer a journey into that feels really natural and gives value all along the way. So I really look at how do you lead people from being a first-time visitor into really kind of, when I say romancing them, I mean really getting to know them and having them enter your world and have some kind of touch point with you. And then from that touch point lead to the next point and the next. So they start stepping through your customer journey until they really, really want to work with you. So that is, the focus of this program. And I wanted to welcome Vanessa. Welcome Vanessa to this program. And welcome Vanessa. And I see that Murray, who's my husband and business partner who's supporting on the line, says, well, the niche that this program works is the niche of getting people to invest in your offers, getting people to get on the phone with you and invest in your offers. This kind of program is not for people who just want to build a website to share what you do. It's for people who want to turn visitors into subscribers, subscribers into customers, and customers into repeat customers. If you really want to understand how to move people into action online, and that's different than how to move people into action offline, which you may be learning from Bill, but how to use your website to really generate more leads. All right? So Empress wants to know, or Patricia wants to know, is this for those of us who already have websites? Does this interface with current website, or is this for building a brand new one? Absolutely. If you already have a website and you just want to update and refresh it so it's getting better results and higher conversions and a lower bounce rate, then this course is really, really good for you because it covers a lot of the common mistakes that people have made on their site that's stopping them from, making money from their website. And it also shows you how to kind of embed a customer journey in your website. So you're leading customers, from page to page to page to your website, and how to add in a few kind of ninja strategies, everything from how to structure your navigation to how to structure the footer on your page. So people aren't really like leaking off your site. They're staying and they're engaging. And this is stuff that you can build into your current site, or if you don't have a site yet, you can really do it right the first time around. So absolutely. Now, welcome to Tracy. So I see that Tracy just signed up. So welcome, Tracy. Lynn wants to know, my business model is a hybrid. Will this program still be useful? So absolutely, Lynn. We show you a few different models. We show you the Call Me model, the List Build model, the Authority model, and how to create a hybrid model, where you may be focusing on one call to action in one place and a different call to action in a different place. And we actually show you inside out of every single page on your website, because sometimes you've got to strip the regular call to actions off of key pages of your website so you don't diminish what you actually want that page to do. So every site and every page has specific things that you want to do and the things that you don't want to do if you want to make sure that that page is as successful as possible. And it's not always doing the exact same thing on every page. So if you have a hybrid model, then this is a really great course to take, because you can see, well, how do you balance the different things that you want people to do? How do you create more than one call to action without overwhelming people? Where do you put each call to action? We definitely go over all of that. So Barbara's asking, so if it's for non-geeks, does that mean WordPress? Well, Barbara, WordPress is certainly an option. And, WordPress works. It's been around for many years and it's useful. And a lot of people find, templates and themes that really work for them to get started. So we definitely talk about WordPress. I see that Marie Lou is saying I'm using lead pages for my website. We talk about lead pages too. And we also talk about Squarespace, and we talk about our platform, Take Flight Now, which is a platform designed by online business owners for online business owners that's designed specifically to do all of the things that we're talking about here. So we give you several different options for the technology of your site, because it's less about the technology than about what you want your site to do. And the biggest mistake that people make is making it about the technology rather than making it about the customer, the journey they're going to take, what they want, and how to lead them step by step through your business so they continue to engage with you and you develop a real relationship. And when you develop that real relationship, that's when they start to know and like and trust you and start to become, subscribers and customers. So we do go over that, but I wanted to reiterate that what's even more important than that is really the business strategy behind this. Because if you don't have the strategy, it doesn't matter what technology you're using, your website's not going to make you money. And I had someone come to me who spent $50,000 with a large agency who never asked them, how are you going to make money with your website? And so after investing that $50,000, she came to me to rebuild her site because it wasn't doing anything. It looked beautiful, but it wasn't doing anything. So I wanted to say even the most, the best technology in the world isn't going to support you if you don't get this right. So yes, we teach that. We go into WordPress, we go into Squarespace, we go into lead pages, we go into Take Flight Now, our platform as well, and give you lots of different options so you can find the fit for you. So Marie Lou, who says, I'm using lead pages for my website. Will you teach me how to fix my site or create a new one? Absolutely, we will, for sure. But I do recommend going through the course right away if you're in the process now, before you make too many decisions, because it's very easy to change your site before it's built. It's still easy to change your site after it's built, but definitely if you can get this input during the process of building it, before you make all your decisions, it's going to be most beneficial for you. So Empress wants to know, I use Wix. Would this still work for me? Yes, definitely. The focus is on web strategy. So the focus is more on the big picture of how to think about your website, how to create that customer journey, because the technology is going to change and you have lifetime access to this course. So as you come back and build your second site and your third site and new sites for different offers, these strategies are still going to be useful to you. They're not platform dependent. So if a platform comes and goes, it's still useful to you. And regardless of how you've built your site right now, it's going to be useful. So I wanted to welcome Robert to the program. Welcome, Robert. Next up, Maria's asking, do you offer Take Flight Now website platform in this $997 program, or do I need to pay extra for your Take Flight Now website platform? So Maria, Take Flight Now is actually both a platform and a service where we actually design your website for you, custom to you. So we take all of your specifications and we coach you through the process of creating your site so you have something that really works for your business. And so because it's a service where we're actually building your site for you, it's not included in this course. But if you go through the program and you decide that you want us to just create your site for you, then we will apply your tuition towards a Take Flight Now site. So it's like you get this course for free. So that's definitely something that we offer you if you decide that you want us to do the site for you. And if you don't, that's totally cool too. We just want you to have the information you need to have a site that's going to make you money rather than have a site that just sits there looking pretty. So Lynn is asking, are there any live question and answer sessions? So Lynn, we did have a bunch of Q&A during the course that's in the session. And I think I might invite you along to some of the Q&A that we're going to be doing with our Take Flight Now customers. So we're gonna look into a way to do that for you, Lynn. So there's some ability to get Q&A, whether it's inviting you into the Facebook group for our Take Flight Now customers or inviting you into the monthly Q&A calls that we do for our Take Flight Now customers. I can't promise you exactly how we're gonna do it, but I'm gonna find a way to create some live Q&A for all of you because I think it would be helpful and support you in your journey. And because of that, we want to do it. We really want you to have an awesome, awesome website. And the reason why is your website's the thing that allows you to go from serving people one-on-one to serving one-to-many and having a bigger impact in the world and really seeing that ripple effect. So wanted to welcome Robert, Mike, and Ann into your website in a weekend. So welcome to Robert, Mike, and Ann. And just a reminder, because I know we are coming towards the last 15 minutes of this call, and I'm going to keep doing questions and right up until 2. I'm actually leading my mastermind at 2, so I have to jump off the line right then. So Denise asking, weren't there some free templates for the webinar? Didn't see any templates. Did I miss it? So Denise, we can drop a link to that, the templates. One of my team will drop a link to our templates for you so you can see some examples of these templates. Absolutely. We gave it to you kind of during the registration process. Maria wants to know, thank you. What's the cost of doing the site for me after applying the $997? So Maria, if you decide that you want us to build a website for you, like some of the examples that you've seen on the screen, when you apply the $997 you invest in your website in a weekend, the cost of us having custom design your website is $3,000. And remember, that's not just about customizing a theme, it's creating a completely custom designed website for you. So that's it for you. Rochelle just says, great webinar. I'm a color consultant for residential and commercial properties. Would this system help me? Well, Rochelle, it sounds like you do a lot of one-on-one consultation that's probably higher end. So having a hybrid site that might be Call Me an Authority could really support you in getting more consultations and getting more customers. So the approach that we work allows you to have a presence, because you're going to need a good presence so people understand your expertise and they see examples of the work that you've done. And we also show you how to create portfolios for that kind of work that's more creative. And then also how to create that customer journey so people don't just check out your work and find out about you and what you do, but they actually are inspired to get on a phone call with you and find out more about your services. So that's really kind of what we do there for you. Okay, so what else do we have? Oh, great. We've just got some new students coming in. We've got Karen, Manny, and Steven. Did I already say? Yes, Karen, Manny, and Steven. So welcome to your website in a weekend. And I did want to remind you, we've got just a few more minutes left. So if you do want the 15-minute one-on-one website audit with me, just go ahead and fill out that form right now, because I probably have to actually end 5 minutes to 2, so I have enough time to log into my mastermind group ahead of time. Empress says, am I right? There's no way you can lose money. If I pay now and the program doesn't work for me, I get my money back. Empress, we've got a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you go through the program and you decide that we don't know anything about web design and we can't help you, then absolutely just reach out to us and we'll give you your money back. Definitely. You know, we want to support you, and if the program doesn't support you, we want to give you your money back. And no questions about that. So absolutely, we're here for you. John wants to know, I signed on late to the call. Is there going to be a rebroadcast of this information? Yes, actually, John, you should be able to go back to the beginning and watch it right now. So it's the good thing about a Google Hangout on Air is there's an instant replay. Diane says, does this program work for a nonprofit that wants to get people to donate as the CTA? So Diane, we don't specifically cover, how to encourage donations as the main call to action, but I will tell you that we do have a number of nonprofit organizations who have gone through the program, and I actually used to work as doing all the websites for more than one nonprofit, so I'm very, very familiar with that world. And yeah, so yes, like the main thing is to use the strategy for call to action and just change the call to action, what exactly it is that you say, to a way that best supports your organization, whether it's a nonprofit or a for-profit. So next up, so Gina just wants someone to call her. So absolutely, Gina, we'll have someone call you and let you know more about the program and see if it's a good fit for you. So I see a question from Barbara saying, I can't afford Take Flight Now at this time. Can you specifically tell me why a good call to action isn't possible in Squarespace? Well, Barbara, the main focus, we're talking about website in a weekend here, and the main focus is to really maximize how you monetize and optimize your website to get the best result. You can do it in Squarespace. It's just not designed specifically to do that. So it's a little bit more work to kind of get that platform to do this kind of stuff. That's all. So even if you can't afford Take Flight Now, I recommend investing in your website in a weekend so you have the strategy, and then you can use that strategy on your Squarespace website. You don't have to use our platform. This course is not about a specific platform. It's about how do you create a customer journey in your website that allows you to make money from your site. And I wanted to welcome Jessica to the program. So welcome, Jessica, to your website in a weekend. And just remember, there's only a few more minutes left of this call. I do have a hard stop because I have to jump on with my mastermindees. And I see that Patricia's asking, how do you get involved with your mastermind program? So Patricia, if you're interested, I recommend coming to the live event, Message to Money Live, July 15th through 17th. And when you sign up for your website in a weekend, we give you 2 free tickets to that program. And I'll be sharing more about the mastermind then. Also, just feel free to reach out to my team. But I definitely recommend the best way is to come in and meet the community. So you know what we're all about and who you'd be joining, because it really is about the community. All right. So let's see. Rodney's saying the 10-minute preliminary video focused on telling your story as the primary marketing engine, was hoping to hear more. So Rodney, we do have other webinars that you can check out related to just telling your story and how to tell your story more. And, you know, definitely in Website in a Weekend, we show you how to tell your story on your website, which is kind of cool. So, you know, but we're not focused in this particular webinar on storytelling. We're focusing on the website conversions. But yes, you can email the team, support@liveyourmessage.com, and they can give you a link to find out more about storytelling. Yes, let's see. So Olivia says, I have 2 websites. Would you look at both of them, Marisa? So yeah, if you sign up while we're on the call and you've got 2 websites, you know, I can look at them pretty quickly. You've got 15 minutes of my time, 100% focused on you and your sites. And I'm happy to look at 1 site or 2 sites or as many sites as you got. So absolutely. I wanted to welcome to the program, Jill. So welcome to the program, Jill. So let's see. Next question is from Anna, and I think this may be the last question that I've got time for, since I've got a hard stop. Cameron wants to know, and Murray, if you want to answer more questions, feel free to jump on the line and answer them when I'm done while I get on my mastermind. So Murray's my business partner. Just let me know if you want to do that. So welcome to Rochelle. Rochelle, welcome to the program. Cameron says, Marisa, does your company do website design directly? And can I hire you to do this? Yes, we do. And when you sign up for Take Flight Now, you actually get your website in a weekend as well. So if we do website design for you through Take Flight Now or high-end services, you'll get your website in a weekend as well. So, you know, either way, whether you join us in website in a weekend and then upgrade later on to hire us to do your site, or you hire us to do your site, you will have this because we want everybody to start there with a clear strategy for your site. That's really, really important to have that clear strategy to your site. So let's see. All right. Since we only have a moment, I just want to make sure that I've gotten, you know, the majority of the questions. So Kim says, can we have an opt-in gift as well as a call me call to action on the same page? Yes, and there are very specific design strategies that I teach you in your website in a weekend. So you can have both of those strategies coexist without really having them kind of compete with each other, because you can really lose focus if you have them too close to each other, so they're competing with each other. So absolutely, there are strategies for doing that, and for sure. So Lynn's asking, will Call Me CTA work best to attract people to group programs? It depends on the kind of group program and the price point, Lynn. So if it's a really high price point, then Call Me is probably best. If it's a lower price point, then List Build is probably best. But also, if you are in a group program, you probably are doing some kind of list build to be super, super effective, because that's going to be really, really important too. And, you know, sign up if this is the right fit for you and you're really ready to kind of monetize your website and have that customer journey on your website. So it's not just a descriptive brochure website, but it's really about something more. It's really about leading your audience in a process of discovery and deepening your relationship with them, because that is exactly, you know, how you turn your site into a profit center and a moneymaker, conversion machine, as I say, for your website. That's really, really mission critical. So I've got to run. I've got to jump on my mastermind call. I'm really committed to that group of people. So go out there, live your message. And I really look forward to meeting all the people who signed up live and who grabbed the 15-minute consultation with me. Really super excited to meet you. Go out there, live your message. Bye, everyone.